Don't ever, ever, ever. Don't do it.
How is this different? What is this by comparison?
I don't particularly like the location. I've had a bad experience there before.
You're not going to be able to do that on £19 a square foot. I mean, you won't be able to fit a kitchen to any of them.
Sometimes I think that might not be the right approach to get a costing.
This could either be a gold mine or a landmine.
Property Elevator is back for Series 8 and we are bigger than ever. This year, we see our angels looking to invest their hard-earned cash into some of the best property deals on the market. But will they be keeping their lights green or will they be turning them red? Our angels are seasoned developers, investors and mentors with a combined experience of over 100 years. Our debt angel is Scott Marshall. Our equity angels are John Howard, Paul Mahoney, Hayley Andrews, Nicholas Woolwork and Ranjan Bhattacharya. It's up to our contestants to impress one or more of our angels for that all-important guidance and funding that they so desperately want. So, let's meet some of today's hopeful candidates pitching their deals on today's show. Kim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling?
Bit nervous, excited?
Yeah, those nerves though, you can kind of use them for good during your pitch.
Absolutely.
Do you feel prepared? Do you feel ready?
I think so, but you never know what questions are going to come your way.
Yeah. I mean, they are pretty nice. They can grill you though, that's for sure. Where is the deal that you've brought?
Just outside Peterborough in Cambridgeshire.
Okay, and is that where you live as well?
Yeah, I live just south of there, yeah.
Great, so it's nice and local for you,
Absolutely.
Easy to get to, excellent. And is there anyone in particular that you think might like the deal?
I don't know about who would like the deal, but I'd really love to work with Hayley Andrews.
Yeah, Hayley's great. Brilliant mentor, so much experience. I think she does a little bit in that area too as well, so that's really good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Well, good luck. It's time to head up into the elevator and I will see you when you come down.
Thank you very much. Hello Angels, my name is Kim Rossiter. I am looking for investment today of £291,000 for 50% of my deal. The project is a beautiful Georgian manor house, already converted into 8 apartments, but on one single freehold title. The plan is simple: light refurb, sell and split. Minimal risk, but unlocking significant value. The purchase price is £673,000. The GDV is 1.174 million. Profit and cost after finance is 20.7%, with a profit of £201,000. Investor return on capital employed is 35%. If that wasn't enough, this project has a Brucey bonus. There is an infill plot with potential for a 3-bed detached house subject to planning. The costs and profit of that infill plot aren't factored into the manor house, that stacks on its own. For your investment, you'll have a 50-50 stake in this project, with profits shared equally after all costs and loans are repaid. You won't need to lift a finger. I'll take care of every aspect, keeping you updated along the way. Thanks for your time.
Kim.
Amazing.
Hello.
I'd love to think that was the case, but I expect there'll be some involvement from an angel.
As much or a little as you would like.
Okay, all right. Who would like to? Paul, would you like to start?
Yeah. Kim, can you tell us a bit more about yourself, your background?
So my background, my sort of day job was as a television producer for over 20 years. I also own a serviced accommodation business in Cambridge, which I've run for the last 2 years. Through the rent-to-rent strategy, I control over £5 million worth of property. I specialise in character for period properties in prime Cambridge locations.
How long has it been 8 flats for, the property, do you know?
Yes, the current owner bought the property 40 years ago and they immediately set about converting them into the 8 apartments. But as I say, they're still on that single freehold title that they are today, and that she's looking to retire and sell out.
Okay, and forgive me if I didn't hear this, but whereabouts is
So it's just south of Peterborough, so it's moments away from the A1, so fantastic transport links, 15 minutes to Peterborough train station, which has fast links into London, excellent schools nearby, and all the local amenities.
Okay, and you said that you are only looking for £291,000.
Yes.
Where is the rest of the money coming from?
That would be commercial lending, 70% for the purchase price and 100% of the development.
There's reasonable places near Peterborough, and then there's bloody awful places near Peterborough. So we do need to know roughly where it is, because it makes a lot of difference.
So it's just south of Peterborough on the A1. It is in a rural location, but the nearest town is Sawtry, which is just on the opposite side.
I know Sawtry.
Yeah.
And of course I also know Cambridge well, because I owned Cambridge United Football Club and the stadium as well for a while.
Okay. Come back and visit. I'd love to host
With the
you.
apartments, so we've got 8 apartments. Are they 1 beds, 2 beds?
There's 1 studio, 2 1-beds and 5 2-beds.
And of the GDV, how have you broken that up? What's the value of each of those?
So the flat 1 is a 2-bed, the split value of 162. Flat 2 is a 2-bed, split value of 144. These are all based off the square footage sizes to give you an indication of why there's a different price. Flat 3 is a 2-bed. This is the largest at 185. The studio is 90,000. Flat 5 is a 1-bed at 125. Flat 6 is a 2-bed at 180. Flat 7 is a 2-bed at 150. Flat 8 is a 1-bed at 138. And I have cross-referenced these figures with local agents.
So you've got 8 apartments. They were converted 40 years ago.
Yes.
I assume the previous owner must have just let them out.
Yes.
Do you know whether they got planning permission, or does that have to be regularised by certificate of lawful use?
I don't actually know the answer to that question.
Which may have to be done before title splitting. The other thing that I was a little bit concerned about is because you're title splitting and selling to owner-occupiers as opposed to renters. And I'm not sure about the owner-occupier market for a studio in that location.
It could be to an investor. It doesn't have to be to owner-occupiers that get sold. It's just I don't personally want to hold.
For an owner-occupier to take it on, particularly the downsizing market, they'll be particularly concerned about the EPC rating, making sure it's insulated, soundproofing and all of that.
Soundproofing.
And there is this thing where if you start to strip and tinker with too much of a property,
I agree.
then full building regulations apply as per today's specification, which means that the build costs a quick refurb. That's what I'm questioning. That's the point I'm trying to get to.
I totally agree, and I buy a lot of this type of stuff. I love buying house. Over the years, my career really started in just like this, and I've done an awful lot of them over my career. And you're right. What you think is going to be a quick, tart up, if you like, ends up being more detailed.
That's my concern with this, when you start stripping out and bringing up
and you're making a good
regulations.
point.
Kim, what was the build cost on this?
The internal refurb, I've allowed 98,000 on about a £19 per square foot basis. 19. Plus, I have allowed extras for freshening the shared driveway outside, so re-gravelling and all that sort of stuff. And there's no gas to the property, but any sort of additional electric work. So in total, 125.
But do you need to, you said you wanted to possibly go for the higher end of the market. It's this lovely Georgian manor house. You're not going to be able to do that on £19 a square foot. I mean, you won't be able to fit a kitchen to any of them. Surely the kitchens all need redoing?
It's going to be a refresh rather than a complete
So you're going to
rip
leave
out.
the existing kitchens and bathrooms?
If possible, and as much as possible, yeah, because I think that is the way to maximise, your return and your profit when you're title splitting. Peterborough is a vibrant city. It wouldn't be looking at a student market for the university, but it could be those professionals who have not yet got families, or it could be those people that, as I say, are, perhaps they're empty nesters.
Kim, Can I just say a couple of things? One, I wouldn't describe Peterborough as a vibrant city. That's the first thing.
That's an opinion.
There's areas in Peterborough, it's a very poor area basically. There's areas in Peterborough that are okay, like there are in every big city, but it isn't a vibrant city, so let's not kid ourselves there. The second thing is...
It's not because you don't like Peterborough United, is it, John?
We used to beat them regularly.
This isn't historic,
That's
is it?
not the point.
I mean, I'd agree. I had a flat in Peterborough and it was difficult to sell.
Thank you.
It wasn't something that flew off the
See,
shelves.
sounds like I know what I'm talking about. Now, the second thing is that because these are rural flats, that's a problem. I've done a lot of flats in country houses that are in rural areas. They take longer to sell because most people who want a flat want it, they're either older and they want it closer to amenities. They're not the quickest things to sell. And my advice to you would be, don't get them all empty. As they come naturally empty, keep the rents coming in to cover their interest. And as what we used to do, or still do, is refurbish one at a time and sell. It's a slow burn, because if you put 8 of those on the market now, I'm telling you, in my opinion, they're going to take a long time to sell. So just one at a time, slip them into the marketplace one at a time and keep the income coming on the rest.
Yeah.
But you have to make sure that when they are valued, they're being valued and the block is being valued on a owner-occupied basis. Not if you get it valued on an investment basis, those flats, even individually, will be down valued. So you need to make sure that when you put them on the market, you tell them that the rest are going to be sold as well to owner-occupiers. Very, very important.
I think there's a couple of points that may have been missed. I mean, I think what you're saying, John, is correct for a title split. So that like the type of title splits I've done is where a block is freehold, it's been built properly or converted properly with full building regulations. It just happens to be in one ownership and you split the titles. The issue here, this is much more than a standard title split, because the building was built 40 years ago without proper regulations. So if
Are you giving me a lesson?
No, I'm not.
Are you giving me a lesson?
Of course I'm not.
In title splits, because I've done 4,500 of them.
Of course I'm not giving you a lesson.
Sounds like you are.
No, I'm not. You're not listening, John. I'm not giving you a lesson. You're not listening. I'm saying that this is not a strict title split opportunity, because there is
Of course it is.
unlikely to
Of course
be.
it is.
There's not going to be any soundproofing. There's not going to be any fireproofing. There's going to be nothing between the flats. So if you refurbish them one at a time, you're not catering for that sort of fabric of the building, that all the flats and the separation between them is proper, up to a standard that someone buying in a lovely, pretty Georgian mansion building would want, particularly a downsizing market.
I'm sorry.
I know you know your title splitting.
Have you managed to see the kitchens and bathrooms at all?
Yes.
And are they in good stand? Are they up to a good standard?
They're okay. They do need some refreshing.
I mean, flats and any property that's going for a retail market, home buyers, is sold on the kitchens and bathrooms and the quality of that.
100%.
And then they're sold. Scott and I had a conversation last night actually on the kitchens.
Yeah, kitchens and bathrooms sell properties.
Kitchens in particular, yeah.
Yeah, and these are obviously rental properties, and tenants don't look after rental properties in the same way that homeowners typically do. And that's the market we're trying to go for.
There's also been quite a lot of new build and conversion work in Peterborough. So that's who you're going to be competing with, that are mostly the 1-2 bed investor type stock, which, as John's right, does get downvalued if it's all landlords owning the building, but a buyer's still going to probably go and look at them and compare them to yours. Mm-hmm. So they're comparing 40-year-old kitchens and bathrooms to 4-year-old kitchen and bathrooms.
From start to finish, 2 at a time. What's your time frame?
2 months. 12 months. 2 months.
It's going to take longer than that.
It's going to be 24 at least.
2 years, yeah.
We agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice that we agree on something.
Is there a holiday let market here?
I wouldn't have thought so.
Would you holiday in Peterborough?
Do you want to live near Peterborough? Do you want a holiday near Peterborough? I wouldn't have thought so. Right.
So let me summarise where we're at. So you're buying a property, Georgian house, splitting it officially into the 8 flats that it's been for 40 years. Okay, buying it not with vacant possession, with the benefit of the existing tenants. Purchase price 673. You're going to spend £125,000 on it. Okay, and then you're going to sell the 8 flats for 1.175, give or take. Okay, leading to a profit of about £200,000 after interest costs. And you're looking for an equity angel, okay, potentially a debt angel as well, that will lend you 100% of the money, okay, for 50% of the profit on the deal, so £100,000. Is that right? So,
yes.
So effectively, it's 200. So it's £291,000 you're looking for. The equity angel gets their £291,000 back and a further £100,000 profit on top.
Plus the infill plot subject to planning.
Yeah, got it.
Yes, the key to this deal is the infill plot, if it comes, but we can't put any value on it at the moment because there's nothing there.
I'll go first, John.
Yeah, please do, Paul.
As I mentioned, I don't particularly like the location. I've had a bad experience there before. I think the quality of the fixtures is a big concern because looking at it from a buyer's perspective, that's going to make these harder to sell if the plan is to just clean them up as opposed to replace them. And I also think the 30% return on our cash, when it's likely a 12 to 24 month investment, isn't enough. So for those reasons, it's not for me.
Okay, thank you.
Who would like to go next? Ranjan, would you like to go next?
I really don't think in that area the market is there for this sort of building. I've seen it down south because these sort of buildings will have high service charges and maintenance costs over above other flats. And I think the refurb spec is massively undered. When you sell them on, the new buyers their solicitors will want to see the building regs and all of that sort of stuff, and you'll have a bit of difficulty with that, I think. So for that reason, it's just not for me. But I would recommend you look for another deal.
Yeah, there's lots in the pipeline.
Kim, you're very, very investable, very impressive person. And if this deal was 20 years ago, and I was that much younger than I am today, you would have got away with this because you wouldn't have needed everything that Ranjan is saying. You wouldn't have needed those things. You'd have got away with it.
The Wild West.
Yeah, the Wild West. Nowadays, I believe you will get yourself into difficulties. And I have to say to you, some of the best deals are the deals you don't do. Okay? And I think this is one that, unless it becomes, you can get it a lot cheaper and you can get a pre-app on the plot before you buy to say, yes, in principle, the council think they'll allow it. That will change it. But at the moment, I don't think it's a deal that you should do without a lot more work on it. So I'm afraid today, it's not one that I can invest in.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, my concern with this, Kim, and the reason I'm not going to invest is because your strategy is to buy, split and sell. The return over 12 months is a decent return, but over 2 years it's not. So that's the reason I'm not going to invest, but I think you're great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the guys have said most of it, to be honest. The big thing that kills it for me is the refurb cost. I think even with the building plot by the side, it's your refurb cost is two or even maybe 3 times what you've said. It's at least £100 a square foot, not 19, absolutely miles off. So that's my advice, and it's not for me on that basis.
Okay.
But yeah, well done, and it was a great pitch, and I'm really sorry the deal wasn't quite there because you're super investable.
Thank you.
So, Kim, I would have loved to have done this deal, but without an equity angel, there is no opportunity for a debt angel either. But I wish you all the very best with this project if you decide to do it, and I'd love to keep in touch with you.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
for your
Kim.
time.
Well done.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Good luck.
Can I finish the conversation?
There's a lot of subject to
I've done an
everything,
awful lot of deals like this,
All right,
and they're
you're
never quite.
What was that? You've done awful deals.
Awful.
What
I've
was
done
that?
some awful deals as well.
Lots of awful
There's some good ones, but
Lots of awful deals.
I've seen it being there like a lot of us have, and it's never as good as these ones that you split up are never as good as you think they are.
But John, I thought you'd go for that one. I really did.
Not enough margin in it.
Oh, Kim, you got a bit of a grilling, didn't you, today?
I really did. I didn't think the angels were being that angelic today.
Yeah, I totally agree. We had some devils up there, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
I still think you did amazingly well, though. How do you feel like it went overall?
I mean, I didn't get investment, so not the outcome that I wanted, but I think it was okay for my first deal, first pitch, first meeting with big investors like that.
definitely. And do you think that their feedback was constructive and you can take that on moving forward?
There's definitely things that I can look into further that they've said, definitely perspectives that I hadn't considered before, so it has been a valuable experience.
Good. And are you going to continue on with this particular deal, or are you going to move on to something else?
I do have other investors who are interested in this deal, so I will be pursuing it further, and there are other deals in the pipeline as well. So there's
Brilliant.
lots more to come.
Okay, great. Well, good luck with it all. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We've really enjoyed having you, and all the best.
Thank you very much.
Pete, welcome to Property Elevator.
Good to meet you.
Tell me, are you a property investor full time?
I wouldn't say full-time, I'm an architect, but I also do architecture development, and I've got a product which is a service accommodation, sort of like a unique holiday let.
Okay.
And it's something I've already developed. I've already done the first one, but I'm hoping to sort of roll it out on a bit of a larger scale across multiple sites in the country. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, where's this particular deal located?
So it's 3 separate locations. So there's, you know, various locations around the southeast. But the current one's based in Shropshire as well.
Okay, nice. And is there anyone in particular that you think would be a good partner with you for this deal?
I do think potentially Hayley Andrews, because I know she's more into businesses which generate a cash flow and serviced accommodation. So seems like the sort of appropriate partner.
Okay, well, fingers crossed that she likes it.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Best of luck. I'm going to send you up into the lift and we will chat when you get back down.
Great.
All right.
Catch you later.
Thanks, Pete.
Bye bye.
That's interesting.
Hello Angels, my name's Peter Marcos and I'm seeking £164,000 in return for 55% equity in my SPV. The purpose of the SPV is to deliver 3 separate monocoque cabins, which is a form of serviced accommodation. In return, I'll be providing 20% of my own money for the deal, and I'll be acting as the lead architect and the lead planning consultant, as well as managing the trades during the construction. I'll also be managing the let as a serviced accommodation once it's complete. So a bit of background on the product and the project. So we've previously built one of these, which are currently being rented out on service accommodation websites for short-term lettings such as Airbnb. The project is located on various sites across the country. The land itself belongs to farms. The idea is that we enter a lease agreement with a farm and they receive 10% of the profit share, and then they don't necessarily receive an equity, but they receive that as a profit share throughout the lease. In terms of costs, we think with this one we'll be able to cost it at about £65,000 per unit. In terms of return, so for the 3 cabins, for the 3 units, we're looking at about £110,000 in profits. And in terms of the anticipated GDV, we're approximating that about £810,000. The purpose of this deal is to produce the next 3, but ultimately I think this can go much further and it can be a number of sites across the country. And of course, that's the main reason I'm here today. Of course, there is the funding, but there's also having your expertise to help us grow this as a service accommodation and scale it as a business. So thank you, and I'm open to any questions.
Thank you very much for your pitch. Very interesting. Shall we have a look at it?
Yeah, sure. So, Paul, if you just hold it at the bottom, and you can open it up and see what it's like inside as a space as well.
How is this different from, say, a static home?
Yeah.
Or a park home that is produced en masse in a factory. What is this by comparison?
So I think a few things by comparison, and this isn't to do down other products on the market, but there are some things on the market which would only have a lifespan of 5 to 10 years. maybe a bit longer, also 15 years. Static caravans typically fall into that sort of category.
When you lease the land off the farmer, it's a nice looking building, I get it, it blends in with the surroundings and everything. But what planning, if any, do you need to put those cabins on the farmland?
So the key with the planning is the purpose. So because the purpose of this is a commercial lease and a commercial property on Airbnb, you do need planning. So you'd need a C3 planning for that.
So these will have to go up with
C1.
C1, yeah.
And looking at the cabins, I mean, they're relatively small, so I guess you'd have a number of cabins, and then you'd have to build certain communal facilities to service all that, and that would all be subject to a full planning application. Is that correct?
So the idea is there's not really any ancillary services with that. So you've got a toilet and a bathroom and a shower integrated in that. The services is the solar panels which go on the top. You would need connection to a water source, so that's the main thing we'd need from a farm is a
And the waste?
to clean water. Waste, it's a septic tank.
Yeah.
So you'd have to dig that into the ground, or is it just is included into the building?
Again, you'd have to dig that into the ground, but there are options. So the current unit, we've got a compost toilet, but we've realised in hindsight, which again is the good thing about having done this already, that the compost toilet just has become quite expensive to service and a bit of faff.
I mean, you just touched upon one of my biggest concerns is with your distributed model, with only one very small, very low income unit in multiple, distant locations. How on earth are you going to service that? Imagine having 100 of these dotted around the country. None of them are close to each other. That's 100 cleaners, 100 people changing compost toilets, 100 people checking in. I know you can deal with some of these things with automated check-ins and key code lots, and maybe the farmer does some of the management. So can you explain how you propose to make that work?
So we've got systems in place with the cleaner to deal with, I'd say 90% of the potential problems that might come up. I would say myself, I might have to go there once every 2 to 3 months for something being too big of a deal. So,
but if you have 100 units, you're not going to be able to do that.
True, but because the net profits of each one of these units is about 30,000, if we had 100 units, we'd more than have capacity to be able to hire people to help support
and that 30 grand's after all those cleaning costs and servicing and management per unit?
Per unit,
net pre-tax profit.
Net pre-tax profit, yeah.
Do you have any of these out in the field at the moment?
Yeah, so I've got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the occupancy level on that one?
The last month, it was about 33%. But again, February's like our worst month, and it's turned over about £2,500. And again, like I said, that's our worst month.
Peter.
John.
Very interesting. So, if Mrs. Howard allowed one to go on in the parkland.
In the parkland.
That's his garden.
In the estate. Most people's garden.
If allowed. What sort of, how big are they, first of all? What square footage are they?
Square footage is about 15 square metres.
So about 150 square feet,
I don't know the comparison
15
in
square metres.
Yeah, about 150, about a bit more.
Crikey, that's
and
small.
The shepherd,
like a double bedroom.
Okay. A shepherd's hut, which is really what you're competing with, a lot of the trendy shepherd's huts. David Cameron even had one to write his memoirs, but I don't think anyone bought the book. It was that thick, no one could read it all, and I don't think. Anyway.
I read it, actually.
You did read it?
Yeah, I'm one of the few people.
Very interesting one. You're one of the very few to read it, I think.
You and John.
Yeah.
How much a week are you renting these for?
I mean, I think the month comparison is probably better.
That's fine.
So a low month revenue, I would say about 2,500 to 2,800. Then you've got your sort of mid months, so about 3,500, and then your very busy months, sort of August, July, you're looking about 4,000.
These are double units, aren't they? As in double occupancy.
Yeah.
What's the average length of someone's stay?
2 to 3 nights, I'd say. But we've got some bookings at the moment, sort of 9 nights, 10,
Amazing.
15 nights. So.
Now, I think you might have hit on something here, because a lot of farmers are looking for other alternative income, and there's a lot of equestrian properties across the UK, and they always need accommodation for grooms. So I think not just on the holiday letting side, but I think there's other, I'm doing your job for you, Peter.
I was going to say, John's tapped into another revenue stream.
There's other revenue streams I think that you could get with this. So you could certainly rent some out on an annual basis or whatever, or sell them. I know planning is still required, but there's stud farms where you need someone staying there full time, all the rest of it on site, and there's no other accommodation. So I think there's quite a few different types of angles to this, and this all comes really from the shepherd's huts that were all trendy a few years ago, like we said, but they are even smaller than what you're doing.
Yeah.
And they're about 35,000 to buy new. And they do let those out, they are let out quite often. So I do think, you don't understand, you don't see any green fields anywhere where you live. But for the people that live in nicer areas, there is a real demand for this type of thing, Peter.
I don't know, you could put 6 in a back garden and sublet.
So Peter,
in
You
Hounslow.
can stack them high in London.
you mentioned in your pitch that there was a GDV of £810,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just talk us through how you get from a cost of 65k for one of these to a value of £810,000, which is 12-13x.
Yeah, so the net profits is 110,000 for the 3 units. I've sort of done like a multiply by 10 of that, of what the yield would be over 10 years, and then lowered it slightly because we're obviously appreciating that partly these are...
So it's a business valuation.
Yes.
Yeah, business valuation of £810,000.
Yeah.
Question I have on the cabin itself. Is this something that's off the shelf, or is this something that you have the IP on and you've designed?
Something I've designed. I made that model with my girlfriend. And
Who made it, you or your girlfriend?
I did the 3D print bits. She did all the nice paper.
She's the
bits.
talent.
Yeah, she's the talent. Yeah, I'm the face. Yeah.
It's a bit like me and you, John. I'm the face, and
and Scott's the talent. Talking about the locations, you mentioned scattered. How scattered?
Not massively scattered. So we're looking at places around the Cotswolds, places around North London. So it's quite strategically. So like I said, the first one's between Birmingham and Manchester.
Okay. Any more questions, or shall we go to offers?
I'll go first. This is effectively a rent-to-rent model, and so from a debt perspective, I would not be interested. I wish you all the very best with it. Thank you.
Hayley?
I think this could either be a gold mine or a landmine. I'm actually unsure of which one it is. I think if you'd have come in with 5 or 6 sites already pre-agreed and more of a detailed business plan, it might have been something that I was interested in. But I don't think you've brought enough information for me to be able to invest in this.
I agree with Hayley in as much that I think it's just a bit too early. I think if you said, look, John, I've got 5 sites, I want 10, I want 15. So you've proved the concept more than you have, and I accept the fact you've done 1, and that's great. So it isn't something I would like to invest in today, I'm afraid.
That's right. Okay.
I think it's the same. It's the same for me. I think the thing that I'm more concerned about is the planning, because when I look at the sort of purpose-built cabin or outhouse industry space, a lot of people seem to have gone for that to sell to people to put in back gardens under PD, because you can do that in your back garden without asking for planning permission. And I just wonder whether the reason why the market has gone for that is because it's just so easy and the planning permission is so difficult. So I've liked that whole area to be cleared up a lot more with a bit more certainty.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Nicholas, what do you like to do?
No, I really like it. I really like you. I think you're really credible. You've put a lot of work into this. This is a real business. You've got a site off the ground. It's not conceptual. I have some concerns about managing it, checking people in. What if the toilet breaks in the middle of the night? Who's dealing with that? The farmer's not going to want any hassle. But I think there could be a way we could tie up a service level agreement with the farmer to do a level of servicing of each cabin, take some of the management away from you, put that onto the farmer as part of the lease agreement. So he's having to work a little bit. I'd also want to be going for planning for 2 or 3 units per site, and I think you'd get that. Then if it does work, you'd scale it up and do 2 or 3 per site, again, increasing your profit margins. I think you can put it on fishing lakes. Like John said, he's given us the great idea of putting it on the equestrian facilities.
I want a commission on that, by the way.
No problem. We'll do his for half price on his land. And I think there'll be a lot of other businesses like that that would like someone to come in with a turnkey solution where you might have to share a bit more of the profit, let them do a bit more of the running of it, so you're distributing the running costs and you become a hut provider where you're taking equity in the deal and the farmer's running it for you. So I think you could tweak your business model to make this really work. I've always wanted to run a cabin business or be involved in one. You're an architect and you can do planning and you can get those costs to basically zero. So the risk of going for a deal is going to be minimal. It's not £5,000-10,000 in planning fees. I love that. So I think we can bring new sites on cheaply, and if we can tweak the business model in some of the ways I've suggested, I think we can scale this very quickly. So on that, if you're prepared to consider some debt, I'll top up any equity we need to get the business going, and cash flow, and I'll offer you what you've asked for. 50% of the business will be partners.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah, thank you.
That's one offer. Don't say anything yet because you've still got Paul to...
Yeah.
Now, Nicholas has given him all the ideas. That's brilliant for Paul.
I'd be willing to do it with Nick, and potentially we could scale it up more quickly. And that would add some more resources. I've got a team, Nick's got a team, and we could potentially help with finding those sites and negotiating and all the rest. So I'd be open to doing the same sort of thing that Nick proposed, but the 3 of us involved.
Yeah.
Peter, what would you like to do?
I think it's best to go with the 2 of you. Yeah, that sounds good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Deal done. Fantastic. Very good.
Looking forward to working with you. Yeah, well done, mate. Yeah, good deal.
Well done.
Yeah, great.
Well done.
Can I just say, I've given you all the ideas there.
Yeah, well, one of the ideas.
Nicholas, that's great. Well done, mate.
Oh, little bromance over there going on.
They can't
know
keep
what?
their hands
I was literally just reading
5
about.
minutes.
I was 10 minutes ago, before I knew what this deal was. I was just reading about how cabins are taking off, and there was one on the
big now,
beach
it's big.
renting for £2,500 a night or something ridiculous.
Yeah. And if we can get 3 or 4, he's not even mentioned putting 3 or 4 on one site.
No, I think three is a good number on these sites.
Yeah.
Because you can spread them out.
They can be hidden from each other, yeah.
Well, you do
So
one.
you
If
can
you get
get
full occupancy, you stick another one. When you've got full occupancy there, you stick another one.
Also, you only need a Clygester system for all 3 then.
Yeah.
You're not, I'm just, what am I doing? I should have invested. I'm giving you guys all the ideas.
this
The
is
only
why
one
I
who
go
doesn't
last,
understand
John.
anything about it is Ranjan, because he doesn't know about land and fields. It's like,
I think it's a gold mine.
Unless it's mains drainage, he's lost, isn't he? He's lost. Doesn't he what a Clygester is, do you?
I think you're bringing up shit issues. I think this is a gold mine prospect. I really do. I think don't think it's a landmine. If I just don't have any interest in this.
No, and you have to have interest in whatever
you've got to
do.
have a passion in it.
Yeah.
You've obviously got a passion in it, and I get it. But if I had the passion in it, I'd be in there as well. I just don't.
Great.
Hey Pete.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing, more importantly?
Yeah, it went well. I got Nick and Paul, so worked out really well. And I got the percentages I want as well.
Brilliant.
With the amount. I think I could have spoke a lot better when it came to the pitch at the beginning. But ultimately, it's been a really good result, so really, really happy.
Good. Sometimes nerves get the better of us, but it sounded like it went really well for you, so that's the main thing, right?
Absolutely, it's worked out perfectly, so
Good.
super happy.
Good. So what's the next step for you then?
I think we're going to start looking at different sites and then just progress the planning applications really. Just look at the options of how many units we fit on the site. But I think there's a lot of opportunity with this and lots of directions we can take it. So, and they seem really excited as well, which is really great.
Yeah, and they're also a really good team together. They work really well together. So you have a very good team with Nicholas and Paul.
Thank you.
Best of luck with the project, and thank you very much for joining us on Property Elevator. Vicky James, welcome to Property Elevator.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really excited to be here.
Yeah, really excited.
A little bit nervous as well, but yeah.
Good nerves though?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Good nerves.
Good.
Tell me a little bit then, where have you come from today?
So we've come from Middlesbrough in the northeast.
Okay, and is that where your deal is?
It is, yeah. It's in Redcar, about a 10-minute drive from Middlesbrough, yeah.
Yeah.
And what about your property experience? Have you already done anything before?
So we've done serviced accommodation.
Okay.
And we've got quite a few based in the northeast, but this would be our first development.
Okay, so you're looking for a little bit of mentorship and guidance as well.
Yeah, I think the experience of the Angels would be brilliant. Yeah.
Definitely. Is there anyone in particular out of our Angels you'd like to partner with today?
No, I think we'd be happy to work with them all, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
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 Great. All right. Well, it's time to head into the lift.
Thank you.
Best of luck, and we will chat when you get out.
Thank you.
Cheers. Hi Angels, I'm James.
And I'm Victoria. And today we are asking for £450,000 for a 20% return on your investment. The property is a traditional 3-storey townhouse based on the seafront in Redcar in the northeast. Unusually, it already has a kitchen and a bathroom on each floor, which is perfect for our plan to turn this into 3 apartments. The proximity to the main attractions in the area and walking distance to the town centre makes this perfect for our plan to run these as serviced accommodation.
So the purchase price is £250,000. The development costs are £200,000, and this includes the utility supplies and a contingency. And we have a GDV based on a bricks and mortar of at least £660,000. We'll be covering the purchasing fees and the professional fees of £21,000 and the property staging of £20,000.
So my background's in marketing in the financial sector. However, I will soon be stepping away from that as I'll be editor of a well-known property magazine, which I think some of you might have featured on the cover of, and I'm quite excited about.
My background's in engineering. I'm a self-employed engineering consultant. As well as that, we also have 7 serviced accommodation units in and around this area. Thank you all really for the opportunity. Yeah. We feel privileged to be here. So yeah, we welcome any questions.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you very much indeed. Very good pitch. Who would like to start?
I don't mind.
Brent.
I just wanted to, great pitch, interesting project, 3 flats basically in a period house.
Yeah.
I just wanted to explore the build costs a little bit. 200,000, roughly about just short of 70k per flat. How did you arrive at that?
So we've been out with our builder. We've told him what we want to do. We've provided a schedule of works, and they came back with a cost. They've worked it out. I think it was just over £50,000 per apartment, and then we've added the utilities based on, it was an assumption really, and we put on a contingency as well, and essentially we rounded it up to.
Sometimes I think that might not be the right approach to get a costing, because I think the build costs are a little bit light. When you deal with these sort of Victorian type buildings, which have higgledy-piggledy layouts type of things, the soundproofing, the fireproofing is all a little bit more. Same with the, so I think that is light. That worries me a little bit.
So the builder did mention that we would have to essentially drop the ceilings and make sure they're fire rated and soundproof, as well as, I think the main bulk of the work's coming from separating the apartments, because we've essentially got a kitchen and a bathroom on each level. So technically all we have to do there is, it just needs a bit of a refurb really.
You won't be able to reuse any of that. I mean, you'd have to rip out the floors to do all the soundproofing and fireproofing.
Do we know the square footage? Because that's the simplest way of working it out, to be honest with you.
So the square metre is 350 square metres.
So it's roughly 3,000 square feet.
Yeah, 3767 I think it is.
Okay, so I would say, so on a conversion, and I do more conversions than anyone else on along here.
Do you?
Really? Sure about that? Sure about that?
I think so.
We'll let you have that one.
Try 4,500, you know.
We'll humour you.
Although I'm a bit older than you guys.
He's got quite a few years on.
£100 a foot would be cheap for a full-blown conversion with building regs and everything else. So that would bring it up to 300,000. Might be enough.
So the windows are all fine, double glazing.
Yeah.
It's literally just the internals.
I mean, with the bathrooms all in the same place, there's minimal reconfiguration. I don't think you're far off at all. I think you probably do it cheaper, to be honest, but that's my opinion.
I've got a question about the end values.
Yeah.
So you've got them about £250,000 a flat. Is that right?
Essentially, we've got the 4-bed on the ground floor, and that includes the basement. We value that at £240,000. That's based on a 3-bed in the area. It's literally on the same road. That's on STC now at £240,000. So for a 4-bed, we would get at least that. And we also spoke to estate agents as well, and they said for the 4-bed we'd get at least £220,000. And then for the 2 3-beds for the floors 1 and 2, we've valued that at £210,000. That's obviously lower than the 3-bed that's up for STC at the moment. And also there's a 3-bed that's on the market now at £215,000.
So I managed to have a look at average house prices in this area because I don't know the area personally, but it's substantially lower than that, less than half that. The average for a flat is 85 grand, average for a house is 130 grand. I understand obviously some areas are better than others, but that's a huge variance.
It is, yeah, and I think it's because it's essentially on the seafront. So.
And size. These are quite huge buildings on the seafront as well. Our 4-bed would span over 2 floors. We'd have 2 bathrooms in there. It's got a garage at the back and a yard because they'd have access to the yard. The one that's just on STC at the moment, that's up for 240. That is also a similar size. It is a 3-bed, but it's got 2 bathrooms and it's kind of sea views, similar kind of size building.
Have quite a few sold at that value, or is it just 1 or 2?
So one sold in 2023,
yeah.
2 years ago, for £180,000.
Yeah.
That was a 3-bed as well.
Are you comparing like with like? Because there's a big difference between purpose-built concrete floors, new building with balconies and all that, rather than these sort of period conversions.
Yeah. So it's literally on the same
road.
seafront. It's
the same type of property.
Have you looked at what the value of the asset would be based on, obviously, it being valued as commercially?
Yeah, so commercial valuation, we'd be looking at least 776.
Okay.
That's based on 103,000 revenue.
Sorry, I had a question about the access to the 3 different flats you're going to put on each floor.
That was a good question.
Okay, just talk us through the access, how you access each of the 3 flats, please.
So the ground floor apartment, which includes the basement, the front entrance will be essentially via the front door and then straight into the first apartment through another door. And then there's also a back entrance into that there's a back garage essentially with a yard, and you can get in that way. And then the other 2 apartments are straight up the stairs as soon as you walk into the building.
So they're internal, it's internal access.
All internal, yeah. Okay. So we just need to kind of wall off the stairwell that already currently exists. So that wouldn't affect out anything.
Very beautiful building.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Yeah, so we'll keep as much of it as we could really.
Work out on an annual basis, occupancy rate.
It really depends. So the way they look at it is they do a whole feasibility on the area. They will look at low season, mid, high, look at average nightly rate, and then work out kind of a calculation based on that. I stress test everything at 50% occupancy, but that's just my personal preference. They will look at national average, which is
We would get more for this because it's on the seafront.
a higher standard.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
Hayley, is there any value in them financing the extra income from the service accommodation? Is that possible, do you think, with their level of...
Yeah, I mean, worst case scenario here, you've got your 660 exit GDV, bricks and mortar. They've looked at worst case scenario. Yeah. There's contingencies in there. And best case scenario is you get a specialist lender that will look based on the £100,000 annual income.
And what do you think that could do to the GDV is the question?
It will massively bring it up. So you're looking at around an additional £120,000. It depends what yields obviously applied, but yeah.
And what loan to value would they give on that?
Probably about 65%, I would say.
Okay. Yeah.
Scott, would you like to just sum up for us, as you're very good at it?
With pleasure. So purchase price £250,000. If we include the professional fees of £40,000, the costs to do the conversion works, 200, so 240 including the professional fees. That stands you in at £490,000 in total. The GDV bricks and mortar, £660,000, with an income of service accommodation of £100,000 a year, leading to a yield of about 15% before costs. The money that you've got to put into the scheme is £40,000, and you're looking for an angel to give you the rest of the money.
So let me go first. For me, I'm not a great fan of serviced accommodation, but we know one or two people here are, so that's good. And although 15% sounds good, you've got to take obviously your costs out of that as well. So for me, I'm not a great fan of serviced accommodation, so it isn't for me today, but I hope that one of the other angels will step up to the mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who would like to go next?
I'll go next. I think based on the £450,000, the return of 20% on that is a bit tight to make it worthwhile from my perspective. And I think if you were to do, and I obviously therefore I always like to minimise the amount of cash that's going in and take finance, but I think once you add the finance in, it's too tight for that as well. So for those reasons, it's not one for me.
Thank you.
Cheers. Nicholas, would you like to go next?
I think you're in a little bit of a rock and a hard place. I mean, I think for your use, you're better off doing a quick refurbishment. Don't mess around with anything. Don't mess around with planning. Don't mess around with anything other than the building regs that are required for safety, obviously. But I wouldn't be splitting the electrics. I wouldn't be spending all the money to split the flats. So that makes it cheaper development costs, maximum income. But that leaves you with no fallback option. For me, I kind of echo Paul to somewhat there. I think by the time you add in finance costs and you've spent the right amount of money to get the flats as your fallback, even though that's not really your primary use, it doesn't work for an investor. So, and I'm not into service accommodation. I'm hoping there's someone else that might be more interested in this deal. That's a more natural angel for you, but it's not.
Well, we don't know, because sometimes Ranjan can surprise everyone. Now he knows where it is.
This is like another universe in terms of being outside of the M25, John.
Ranjan.
I don't really do serviced accommodation, so I'm just looking at it as what the end value will be once it's all developed. And I'm doing quite a few of these sort of conversions at the moment. I do honestly think the build costs are a little bit light, which will affect the profitability, which is already tight, as Paul said. So for that reason, I think it's a little bit, it's a bit of a tight squeeze, the margins on this one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think I like that you've brought worst case scenario. I like that you've got multiple exit strategies. I like you. I love that you're already doing serviced accommodation. I think the numbers that you've presented us are conservative.
Let me just walk through the numbers as I see them, okay? And I'm going to go somewhere with this. On the refinance element, you've quoted as a bricks and mortar at 660k. You'd be able to raise 75% of that figure for refinance, which is £495,000. So on the basis that you can put the £75,000 in, your total cost of 490, and you can 490, you can borrow 415, okay, and you can refinance at 495, you can take all of your cash out on a refinance. You don't need an equity angel, and you already have experience in the service accommodation sector and this area.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
The debt angel shows his cards at the last minute.
So sometimes
We shouldn't have let him go last.
Sometimes debt goes hand in hand with equity, and sometimes debt competes with equity, and sometimes equity competes with debt. I think that this is a pure debt deal. I would lend you the £415,000 if you can find the other 75k.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think that's very responsible of the debt angel for what he said.
Is that why it's called the angel of debt?
Or the angel of debt. Personally, I honestly believe that having a partner that can bring something to the table, experience as well as the money, is very important. Hayley.
Yeah, it's not often I agree with Scott, to be honest.
I never,
And I don't like.
I never agree with him.
I don't like what he said, but
No.
you guys, this is incredible. You've done your homework. You're operating in this space. Clearly, you're investable, which is,
Yeah.
you know, why my light's still on. You can do this without me. You do it a hell of a lot better with me.
Hayley, they need at least 35 grand
Yeah.
cash, so they can't. At the moment, they're saying they can't do it without you. So why don't you make them offer to top up the equity?
Hayley, make an offer, please.
I think you need to make an offer, Hayley. Don't pull out. I think they
No,
need
I'm
you.
not pulling out. I was asking them to make a choice.
Yeah. They can't do it. They can't do it.
You need to
they need
give them
35
a
grand.
choice.
So the question is, do you want an angel investor coupled up with debt? Do you want me to come in its full entirety and you give me 20% plus a profit share? It's about, do you want to share? It's a good deal. I don't want to take anything away from you. I'd love to work with you on this deal.
So you have a choice. You have a choice of one angel or two.
And what share of the profit do you want, Hayley, on top of the interest?
On top of the 20% interest? 15%?
Hayley would take 20% on the money she's putting in and 15% of the profit.
I'm happy with that.
That is the offer you are making. Would you like to accept that offer or not?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that would be brilliant. Thank you.
Brilliant. Well done. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much.
with you. Look forward to working. Well done. Well done.
Well done. Congratulations.
But you know what? I think if you had said 25%, they would agree.
No, I know, but I like them. I like them, and it's a good, solid deal. It's not a
I
massive
think
risk
you could
for
have
me.
screwed them down a bit harder.
Yeah, I didn't want to
Probably
do
could
that.
have. You weren't sure if they had the money though, right?
I think that. Look, I think that if they had the £75,000 of their own money in total, and it was easy for them to put the other 35k in, they wouldn't, one second, given they've already experienced with service accommodation in that area, they wouldn't have needed
Don't over.
an equity
People
agent.
should not over leverage and
But-
overstretch themselves.
But
And you're peddling that
but
today.
certainly having Hayley involved who knows
Yeah,
service accommodation,
It's a great acquisition for them.
would give me more comfort as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's a win-win, and you know, every negotiation, if both parties or all three parties are happy, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what the show's about. So that's fantastic. Congratulations, Hayley.
Yeah, good deal.
And
Liz.
I have to admit, Scott, congratulations.
That hurt. that hurt, John.
What can I say?
Scott, is this the first time we've worked? We've
worked in collaboration.
Yeah, let's see how that works out.
I see the ball.
If it goes more smoothly than our relationship on Property Elevator.
Oh, I don't know. Is it that bad?
Welcome back. You got a bit of a grilling up there, didn't you, today?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you?
Yeah, it was brilliant, wasn't
Great experience, yeah.
Yeah, good. Did you get a good outcome?
Yeah, the best really. I don't think we could have asked for better, could we?
it? No.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, and you were hopeful for Hayley as well, weren't you?
Yeah, obviously with her experience.
Yeah, with the service accommodation sector as well. So yeah, we're really, really pleased.
Yeah, can't stop smiling.
Good. Well done. So what's kind of the next step for you once you leave here?
Yeah, so we just need to start convincing, really. We need to get the ball rolling with that. And yeah, just hard work start.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, the hard work begins now.
Yeah.
And the fun. Yeah. Lots of fun, and especially with Hayley on your team.
Yeah.
She's a fantastic mentor and she's brilliant at what she does, so I'm sure it's going to be a really great project.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Well, what a great first episode. The Angels are certainly back with a bang. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.